Hello, FCS 2250 Computer Application students to Lesson 8. Lesson 8, we're going to jump into Excel. It's a great spreadsheet to do a lot of math. We have a couple assignments due. We have our terminology, and then we do have our project, and it's called the personal budget. Let's go ahead and dive on in. So as I open up Lesson 8, we are going to be creating a worksheet and a chart. Your first assignment is to complete the terminology table. There's 27 terms available. You can download that terminology table via the link here. Save to a destination of your liking and submit within the correct Dropbox. Assignment 2, we're going to work again in Excel 2016. This is our first module, and it's a personal budget worksheet. You have the pages there. EX stands for Excel. Please make sure you follow all the number directions in red, and you will do fine. In the tutorial that we're looking at now, we are going to show you, first of all, what I'm going to be kind of looking at. We're going to get us started, and then you'll be off on your way. Don't forget to save to a destination of your liking and submit within the according Dropbox. Again, my grading hasn't wavered for assignments. It's 5 points off. Follow the instructions to a T and you should have no problems. Again, do not procrastinate, for if we start working on those together early in the week, you'll do just fine. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and load up Excel, and this is the personal budget worksheet that we are going to be creating. What's nice about Excel is it does a lot of math calculations for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click in cell B4. B4. It's like we're playing some Battleship. Remember those good old times with the Battleship? And this is all data. Here's all the different prices for your wages of what you are going to earn in these different months, and it looks like you've got some dividends from some stocks, and you receive those semi-annually, so you get a couple a year, and you can see those there as well. And this is actually a formula. That formula is shown here in what's called a formula bar. This is considered your entire formula bar. And if you're ever wondering, are you working with a formula or just data, I'm going to go ahead and press my escape key on the keyboard. That is a great way to get out of things in Excel. If you're clicking things that you shouldn't, press your escape. Again, so are you working with a formula or data? So when you click in a cell in the formula bar, you do see a formula. Well, is this a formula or data? This is just considered data. There's no formula there. It is just data. So some of that data you have to type in. It doesn't know what your wages are, but it certainly can add up your wages and your dividends to get you a sum, a total, if you will, of those together. And as you can see, not only do we have a sum for each month, but we have a sum for the total year as well. Those are some of our incomes that we have, and we also have some expenses, and you may have more expenses than just this, but this is some of their basic ones. And you can see, is this a number or formula? Well, again, this is for your rent. It's just a number. You're going to have to click in this information. Food, you save about $280 a month for food. Again, just a number. Looking down here though for our total, now that's when we're getting into a formula. You can see the formula here. All right, our net. All right, how much do we earn, or did we lose some money that month? And again, you can see now we have a formula as well. We're taking C6 minus our expenses, so our income minus our expenses, that gives us our net. All right, so these are some things I'm going to be looking at here. I'm also going to look at formulas. How do I look at formulas? Up here on the ribbon, I click on formulas, and then I choose show formulas. A lot of students just put in the data and they don't complete any formulas. So it takes a second for it to get the formulas. There they are. And as you can see, we have data and we have formulated data. Formulated data has a formula to get the total of those, if you will. So we're just going to be using sum for this project. We're going to add some things up, and then we're going to be subtracting as well, I should say, so not just sum. We also have, and I can turn that off the same way I turned it on, show formulas. So make sure you do the formulas, because I will be looking. All right, our monthly expenses. There we go. Now we're looking at a pie chart here, and we can see the colors representing what actual area they are, or you can put your mouse over it and pause for a second. That's rent. Miscellaneous, look at the green, car payments, all sorts of things that you can look at to see what your expenses are per month. So sometimes a visual will let you see, oh wow, I'm spending that much money on this. I may want to adjust my spending. Okay, so with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to open up a new worksheet here, a blank worksheet, and there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and save this right away. Why don't I do that? File, Save As. And I'm going to go ahead and choose my desktop and look for my FCS 2250 folder. All right, desktop please. Let's try that again. There we are. There's my FCS 2250 folder. I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder for Lesson 8. And this is our personal budget. Let me go ahead and open this up. And personal budget. I want to put that inside of that folder. And let's go ahead and choose Save. Alright, so here is our spreadsheet. Again, we're going to be doing a lot of battle shipping, if you will. If I ask you to be in cell G9, well, you're going to have to do some battleship, if you will. You can also type it in this location here. Maybe I want A3. And it jumps me right to that location, A3. Again, here's our formula bar. We're going to be using that to enter data as well as to create formulas. So on Excel page 1, please go ahead and read the introduction and a project, personal budget chart, and worksheet to kind of get an idea of what we're doing. But I'm going to flip on over to page EX5 to enter a worksheet title, and it asks me to be in cell A1, make that active. So you want to click right there in cell A1 to make it active. All right, those are some pretty easy directions. Let's go ahead and look at page EX6, and it tells you exactly what it wants you to do. So type personal budget worksheet. All right, and then it tells you to click the enter button to complete the entry and enter the worksheet title. So the enter button, I know we have an enter key on our keyboard. However, the enter button is this location right here, this check mark. We're going to go ahead and click on that, and that has entered that data into there. Now this is a big misconception. People think that this is also in cell B, cell C. It's not. It's only in cell A1. Now it's going over to cell B because there's nothing in cell B or C. But if I were to put a 1, for example, into B1, you can see now that it goes away. It's still there. We just may need to adjust some things. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and we'll cross that bridge again when we get there. So all right, we've done that. Now it says click in cell A2 for a subheading, monthly estimates. Once again, these are just estimates. They're trying to figure out what their budget might be, and click the enter button to complete that data. All right, over on page EX7, click in cell A3, and you're going to type income. And then you're going to go ahead and you can look at the picture if you need some help in figure 1.9. I'm flipping the page to EX8, and it tells us to press the right arrow key on the keyboard. So I press the right arrow key on the keyboard to enter a column title and make the cell move to the right, as you see in figure 110. Repeat steps 1 and 2 to enter the remaining column titles. That is, enter January. All right, and right arrow. February. And now we could keep typing this, or we could use what's called a fill handle. Now that we have an idea of what's going on, January and February, the bottom right hand corner of your cell that's active, and I highlighted through both of these with the white plus. See how there's a white plus there? Dragging through that. Now when it turns into the black plus as you go to the bottom right hand corner, it's called a fill handle. I'm going to drag this all the way over to cell M3. M as in Michael, 3. And I'm going to drop it. And that now brings over all my months, January, February, March, April, and so on through December. Why type it all in when you can simply let Excel do its magic for you? Now in cell N3, we do have to write total. It's not going to know that after December we want a total. That wouldn't make sense to Excel. Now we're going to select cell A8. So make sure you're going down to A8 now. Again, you're playing some Battleship. You can also go up to this location here and type in A8 to make sure that you are in the correct location. And in cell A8, you are going to enter expenses. So we always have expenses, right? Got to pay for things. Life is not free. All right, and so now I'm going to press my tab key. That's something I use a lot, is my tab key. Yes, you can use your right arrow key. You can use your mouse, whatever your heart desires. And we are going to want to do the same thing. January, February. All right, and I misspelled that. Let me make sure I spell that correctly. Get the S out of there. So I'm going to my formula bar and doing some quick editing there. Highlight those two. Let's go ahead and drag those over as well. If you wanted to, you could have copied and pasted the one from up above as well, or you could do what I just did. There's a couple ways to do that. And we need total as well, as it has in direction number 3, the third bulleted point. So looking at figure 111, ours should look pretty close to that, and it looks like ours is. We now are going to click in cell A4. All right. And according to direction 1 on page EX9, now type wages. These are going to be our row headings. All right, wages, not wagers. We're not betting on anything. Wages. There you go. We're getting some money. We now are going to select A5. You could use your arrow keys. I just clicked on my mouse or whatever. And now you're going to type in dividends. All right, that's another part of our income. Now in A6, we're going to want the total. Because we're going to want to total up, this is our row heading again, we want to total up our income for January. How much are we going to expect to get in January, February, March, April? Yes, we're also going to total up for the entire year over here in this column, but we are going to get there in a little bit. All right, you guys, so we're now going to click in cell A6, excuse me, we've just done that, my bad. And in A9, we're going to go ahead and jump down to A9. I'm on direction number 2 on page 9, and we have some expenses. And one of our first expenses, rent. Now I just press my enter key because we're going to go down here. Food. Tuition. Books. Car entertainment. Car payment. Gas. And miscellaneous. And total. And now in cell A19, so we're going to go down a couple here. I just press my enter key, down a couple. We're going to get net. All right. After we get our income, we're going to take away all our expenses. And we're going to get our net, how much we can put in our pocket after we pay all our expenses. So I now am in on page EX10. And this is where you're going to want to look at your table 1-1 up at the top. You're going to be entering a lot of that data. Make sure you found your direction 1 first. It'll tell you when to go to that chart and to start putting in that data. But at least we got started. Again, make sure you're utilizing your formulas, because I will be looking at those items when you submit it. And as you see, I have a misspelled word there. All right, so, and I may have more throughout, but we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. With that, good luck, everybody. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know via email following the protocol. Thanks so much. Have a great day.